Well, good morning, everyone. It is Friday, July 7th. We love Fridays. Thank God it's Friday. We're not super fond of Fridays in the market, but we are fond of Fridays in general. Yes. We're gonna check out what we got going. Who on here has joined the Threads app? Has anyone joined the Threads app? Meta launches Threads. And it goes, well, I think they end up with, some over several million, 10 million people on the thread in like an hour. It went nuts. Like it went ballistic. And then right after the Threads app came out, some other company, which I saw, I can't remember which one, it might have been Elon Musk, but somebody comes right up behind that, then wanting to sue for infringement on their idea. It came like immediately, almost like as soon as you launch this, we're launching our infringement thing. But Meta put it out
Almost
there.
like they were sitting there waiting for them to launch it so they can sue them.
Yes, exactly. Threads is like a Twitter, but you got more ability to, it's like the Twitter competitor. It's Instagram's version of Twitter. So it's going to, you can just make posts with words. I think they've given you, more spaces to write with. And then you've got conversation threads going and people are followed. What people didn't realize on the front side, which nobody's shocked, I don't think anybody should be shocked, is that once you sign up for Threads, you can't ever delete your threads without deleting Instagram. Once you leave Threads, you're actually leaving Instagram. So once you're in, you're in. Now, of course, you can have an app and not use it. You can just sit, like I had Snapchat, which I only had Snapchat because my daughter was on it, being like she was unholy. Oh my goodness, my daughter was on Snapchat, acting like she had not been raised in the church. So I joined Snapchat just so I could keep an eye out for the youngin, even though she wasn't a youngin anymore. She was still young, she just was an adult. So it wasn't like I could dictate what she did, but I could remind her that the Lord could see every single snap and every single chat. But I never used the app besides that, and it's still set, just sat. So I guess you could do the same thing with Threads. If you didn't enjoy it, you could do that, get rid of that without Instagram. But again, Threads is the Instagram's answer to Twitter, which probably would make Elon Musk mad because Twitter is toileting, or has been, and people are just not as pleased with what's happening at Twitter. So some of those unpleased people didn't have anything else to do. They didn't necessarily want to go to Facebook. So they have now been able to jump over to Threads. And if you listen, it's a rabbit hole. I was just scrolling, and you can scroll for far longer than you want to scroll because there's conversation. So you're having conversation. It's not just pictures. It's not just, it's conversations happening, comments and conversations. So if you're interested, you'll go on over and join up on the thread and see what they talking about over there. All right.
You have to join it through Instagram.
No, I think you can just, what I did was I downloaded the Threads app. I just searched for Threads. I downloaded the app, but once you join the app, it basically lets you know that you're connecting with Instagram. It asks, do you want another separate profile, or do you want to just connect your Instagram profile that you currently have? It asks you those questions.
Oh, you better off having a separate profile then.
Could be, unless you're doing it, unless you're like many people who jumped on already, going over there for business purposes, then you want the branding consistency. So you don't necessarily get a different name if you're trying to be, a brand across the platforms.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just signed up, but I didn't see the part where you can make a different profile. I just imported it from Instagram already.
Yep, I did that too. There wasn't. I thought there was an option. There wasn't one to get a new profile.
If there was, it was very tiny. I just saw import.
They didn't want you to do that part. They want you to stick with what we already got going, because we already got your metadata at this other name. And if you give us something new, we got to grow up some more data. Yeah. So that's the interesting thing that's happening right now. You'll probably start seeing it. that little circle, this little symbol here will be behind the writing. I've seen some of the posts like in Facebook, but it's got this black and white like thread looking thing behind it. That's coming off the Threads app. Must be a way to link the Threads and Facebook or whatever, because I was seeing the posts actually in Facebook before I even looked. I was wondering what people were talking about with Threads, and I was like, let me see. And then I was seeing some posts and not really understanding what was the black and white background. But that's what's happening there. If you scroll Facebook a bit, you may see them. Stock futures drift in the countdown to key jobs report, which is probably out now because it came out at 8:30, I think. Trucking companies are likely to see peak pain in Q2. Wall Street cools on Alphabet after stock's strong rally. Levi Strauss had their earnings yesterday after hours. Threads rollout proves Instagram is Meta's future. See how that black thread stuff goes back here? That's behind all the posts you have. If you're on another platform, it'll have this little thready stuff behind it. Rollout proves Instagram is Meta's future. Workers still rating, because Facebook, people were not feeling Facebook as much. People are there. It's almost like you can't leave Facebook because of the billions of people that are there. So folks have stayed there, but have they like the other things too. So anyway, you got Threads now. At this point, you can see what's over there. Here comes the jobs report. Let's see, I can refresh this and see if it tells us anything new about that jobs report, but we're moving forward anyway. Payrolls report Friday likely to show a jobs market that is still hot. Japanese pharma ICI slides 4% despite the FDA approval for the Alzheimer's drug. The job market is still favorable for workers. You're still in a lucky position. A lucky position. Hey, we're not lucky. We're loved. We just found that out. EV sales. Hyundai overtakes GM, but Tesla's U.S. dominance continues. U.S. dominance continues. I'm actually considering a hybrid vehicle because I got to get out my gas tank. Somehow got to get out my gas tank. Ooh, it's crazy out there in them streets, but I'm thinking about it. Stock futures are little changed as investors look toward Friday jobs report. But did we get the jobs report or no? I'll come back to that in a minute. Let me see if the jobs report actually reported. So that way, maybe they're looking for the JOLTS job openings. Unemployment rate is at 8:30. It's in the range where they were expecting it. It was a red folder. Average hourly earnings, non-farm employment, unemployment rate, all were red folders this morning at 8:30. The average hourly earnings came in green. The non-farm employment change came in red. It's off a bit, 15,000 from what they were projecting. And the unemployment rate seems to be holding steady, 3.6. I guess that means it's not any worse, but it's not any much better. But they were expecting 3.6, and it actually is 3.6%. So it's better than it was last time, which was 3.7. Natural gas storage is going to be a yellow folder at 10:30. So we've got, that's what we're looking at for today. Let's see what our other markets are looking like. European market, DAX, FTSE, red, CAC, FTSE MIB, and stocks are all green. Not too bad, 0.44, 0.45, 0.54, so about 0.5. FTSE is the only one that's red, 0.39. Europe markets edge higher after Thursday's losses. OSB Group shares down 27% on mortgage woes. We've got mortgage woes. The Asia market is completely red. Asian markets extend declines as U.S. jobs data triggers sell-off on Wall Street. How would the jobs data, or maybe the jobs data was from yesterday, because how would the jobs data that we just saw trigger a sell-off? Maybe this JOLTS job openings from yesterday was a red 9.8. They were expecting 9.9. So maybe this was the issue that made Asia be red. Job openings, 9.82. Rah-rah. So Asia's all red. Got to give it some kind of answer as to why. Our pre-market is mainly red. Dow futures 0.09% down. S&P futures down 0.07%. These are not big numbers. NASDAQ futures down 0.10%. Oil is green, and the U.S. 10-year bonds are down 0.01 or 4%. Actually, they're down. I said these numbers aren't really all that big, so may or may not be a down opening. Did we make any money yesterday? What kind of money did we make yesterday? I think we did. I saw it. I saw it in the chat. We had a few. Did I make a post about our money yesterday? I'm sure I did. Did I? I don't know if I did. Now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I did. Did I? I'm feeling like I didn't. I captured all the numbers in the chat, but I'm feeling like I did not make that, like I didn't make the next step to put in us a post for our numbers. But this is what yesterday looked like in SPX. This is a 15-minute chart. It did open down. So, and then it never really got back into that gap very much. It went into the gap a little bit about 3 o'clock. But that was it. I think, what did I see for our numbers? I know I saw us, we had some numbers yesterday as far as our finishings. Yes, we did. We had 10%, 3%, 6%, 12%. Yes, Stephen made some money. Miss Marcia made some money yesterday. Rasta made some money. Cynthia jumped in on it. And Miss Barbara made some money. I think Saida said she sat out because she was in the streets. In these streets, as was I. My 2 o'clock, Saida came on later, was like, did you do a live? I was like, yeah, I did it. At 2 o'clock, I was on maybe 10 minutes because I needed to finish what I was doing. I needed to do that live because Jamie told me I do not ever get to not be on at 2 o'clock. Now that I've said I'm going to be there, I need to be there at 2 o'clock. So I was there at 2. It was from 2 to 2:10. I talked about credit spreads on XSP, I think, or Jachi might have just talked about credit spreads in general. And I needed to go to the doctor at 3, so I needed to start moving again. So I was very short on time, and it was in my car, which I was out of my normal 2 o'clock element where I'm normally at my computer. I can see some stuff. I'm on StreamYard, which means I'm streaming to multiple places. All my whole setup I was off of my setup yesterday, so I did it live, straight to YouTube yesterday. I did it live. And we'll do again today at 2 o'clock. We will do it again today. All right. Congratulations on all the winners yesterday. Winner chicken dinners. Congratulations for all that you did yesterday. Did anybody trade any breakouts or any other strategies yesterday?
I did.
What? Tell me about it.
I had to shut it down fast because it didn't work.
What was it?
So I took my $12 negative and went over to just doing regular SPX.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't really do breakout. I just kind of do at the money XPS, buy a put or buy a call, and get out as soon as I see profit.
Okay.
So when I didn't see profit, I just closed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rasta, that means you did not trade the breakout.
No, because you would have broke out this way, and all this was breakout.
Yeah. My family has some coughs and stuff, so I got in maybe at the bottom there.
Oh.
And I was trying to stay on the call side. But it was, even though it went up, it wasn't really moving up the way I wanted it to.
And then if you're on the daily, at this time it's 11 o'clock. So even if you get a daily, it needs to be popping because your premiums are getting eaten up along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
So the breakout would have been better had you been breaking out, going to the downside at the at the, right at the early, if you were trying to do breakout, this is where you should have done it, would have been in here.
Yeah, exactly. So
And
you
would have
benefited?
broke out going down. Huh?
You benefited from that breakout?
Oh no, I was teaching, I was giving a test during that time. They'll tell you this little teaching gig is interrupting, it's interrupting my trading. No, I did not. I was giving the test and managing excuses. Mm-hmm. Yep, managing excuses yesterday. I just forgot everything that was on. This one girl comes to me with some stuff on her paper going, I know how to do it, but the stuff she's got written is all wrong. Is this the right formula? No. That's not the right formula? No. It is X1 minus Y1, right? That's what you got on your paper. I said no twice. No, it's not X1 minus Y1. No. What? It's not right? No. I'm not sure how you want me to say no. No. It's not right. Nada. Incorrecto. No. What do you want me to say? I can't believe it's not right. I remember the formula. Do you? Because what's on your paper is not the formula. So if you remembered it, it would be on your paper. This is the joy and pain. This is the joy and pain of teaching. I'm going to grade test today. Whew. The Lord's going to be with me and them when I grade test today.
Yeah, I think some of these math students need formulas that affect their life and death.
Okay.
Because like I know some of the formulas I use in my mechanical engineering. If I did it wrong, people are dead.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
What I do too is when I'm, explaining it, I try to give them mechanics or mnemonics that will help them remember the differences between the things. Like, well, I think you think about it like this, maybe this will help you remember it. But the amount of focus and the way the kids, whether they are or are not paying attention during class, that's really, you're not focused on what I'm saying. So it's the things, no matter what I'm saying, it's maybe passing through. But we're going to give out the grades that they've earned. That's how we do that. And maybe there'll be a lot more focus next 2 weeks. So this was the breakout. If you were doing breakout, you would have broke out at the bottom here because it broke out at the bottom. And then you would have gotten some off of this pop, the pop down, pop. I don't know if it's called a pop. Maybe it's called a drop when it goes down. And you would have gotten some of this. It went till 11. If you were just getting, $20, $25 off of it, you probably would have gotten this on the second candle. This is SPX. So it's weird because the XSP on TradingView, I may need to call somebody, but this is XSP on TradingView. So it also, same thing. You've got the top and the bottom of this candle, and the rest of this stuff is all breakout. And if you had set XSP, which is a little diffuse, at the top, maybe once it breaks out, and I don't know if this is something that's worth back testing, but to do a call credit spread above, if it breaks out going down, to do a call credit spread above that for the day, or if it was to break out, to do a put credit spread underneath it. Now, of course, you got this gap up here, so that would have been something you would have, not really been concerned about, but really would have been thinking about. But that's 2 ways to trade the breakout. It can break out at the bottom, and you can do a straight put, just buy a put down here, and let it get you a few dollars if you're buying a put down there. You also could have done at some point in here, you could do a call credit spread. Again, looking for just your $25 or so, and you could do a PCS if you wanted to make it into a PDT hack to lock in your profits on the breakout. This one looks better than several of the others that I've seen. And then it hit the bottom, 438.50, and went on up from there for the rest of the day. And then it kind of tapered off in here, 441. That will be how you could do the breakout a few different ways. I don't encourage the buying unless I mean, it needs to be as early as possible, and you need to have a plan to get out as soon as possible, because the theta is starting to eat away at your premiums pretty fast. So you need to have a short pop that you got to plan for just a little bit, get me a little bit of money and get back out, because theta starts to, even though it may be still going in the same direction, if theta's chewing on the premiums and the premiums are trying to grow, if one of them is not happening, if the growth is not happening faster than theta is decreasing it, then you're sitting at the same place you started, which breaking even is a thing too. You can always break even, or like Rasta, take in smaller losses. You can do that as well. I think the breakout probably would work better on, like, I'd say a SPY or an SPX, but again, it's all, when you're buying, you're putting your money on the line, and then of course you can close it wherever you're ready. I'm just a seller at heart. Oh, I want to show y'all something. Speaking of sellers at heart, is it there? Nope, it's not there. It's gonna be here. I was looking on Twitter. I'm gonna go to Adam now that I'm here, but okay, go away. I hope it stays. Don't go away like all the way away. I want it to stay there. Chris Sane. Does anybody follow Chris Sane? When I first started Twitter, I first started trading, I was introduced to Chris Sane early in my trading journey. The people I was around in Bahrain were following Chris Sane. And, Chris was putting out daily videos. He still does, I think, put out a daily video. But I'm going to show y'all the interesting thing. Can y'all see this right here? I don't know if y'all can see it. He's been a buyer since I started trading, which was years ago. Now, all of a sudden, doing options. How should we sell put options? Oh, here you come. Here they come wanting to be sellers. Y'all got people over in the buy camp losing their shirts every day, following behind options groups. And this video is a YouTube video. It's about 11 minutes where he's talking about selling put options. Oh, here you come. Here we go. Let's be a seller now. We agree. We agree. I agree with you, Mr. Sane, that, selling put options is a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do. Some of your people gonna buck at it because you taught them buying for so long. So now you're gonna have to change all them people and all the mechanics you told them on how to buy. You're gonna have to now unlearn all the stuff they learned. They're gonna have to unlearn it, which is probably the most difficult thing with teaching selling. Is there so many people who have learned the buyer way, and we have to unlearn that in order to teach them sellers mechanics. Yeah. Somebody put a note in the chat. This is how I feel during the school year. My job is interfering with my trading. Yeah. Who was getting ready to say something?
Me.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hi.
It's a question about bar chart.
Uh-huh.
Do they have a section on overbought stock? Would you know?
That is a good question.
Tell you what's overbought. I wonder if it's in the page. Maybe it's in the page.
No, everything that they offer is on this page. You just may not be able to see. But so this is the stocks area. I don't see anything here about overbought. Because overbought, then you would be looking at those for shorting opportunities.
Yeah. I was watching this guy, Henry, Invest with Henry. And he was saying he uses that as one of his
he uses it in bar chart or someplace else?
No, he didn't say bar chart, but I was just wondering. I said, oh, my bar chart shows overbought. He said 52-week highs or overbought.
You got 52-week highs on here. I saw that one. I thought I just saw it.
Would work.
Maybe I thought I just saw it.
He's
highs and lows are here.
He's big on credit spreads too.
Oh yeah, he's a seller. Invest with Henry is a seller.
Yeah.
So you can look, even if you don't find it on bar chart. I really thought I saw 52 weeks here, but if you don't see it on bar chart, there's other. Let's look. You've got Finviz, FINVIZ.com. You've got Finviz to look at, and this is another free screener. Finviz is free. When did it turn black? I didn't know Finviz was in black now, but this was is a lot more involved. They do have things you can just pick the presets or pick the different things up here, but this is to me, you got to pick, descriptive or fundamentals, and you can go a little deeper into here. I want to say Tip Ranks also has a screener. And I think Robinhood might have the 52-week high. Tip Ranks has a screener. Top analyst picks. But you have to look around. I've not looked for that, but I was looking at the Robinhood screeners the other day, just kind of passively, scrolling to see what they did have there. And new 52. Oh, I just saw it. Before I started typing this, new 52-week highs at Robinhood. This is one of their screeners. Looks like spot your next trade with screeners. You got to get started, take a tour, and there we go. New 52-week highs, and they also had the 52-week lows. So you can scroll through here and see it says updated with 5 items, but then you can look over here and maybe set your filters on like if you have a certain price you're looking for, you want it to be over a certain price or stuff like that. But this one, ISEE, is a $39 stock, so it's not a penny stock. And then PWM, I've not heard of these people, but this may be a place to look. Robinhood with the new 52-week high screener. Okay, good question.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Let's look at what Adam had to say. Yesterday was an A+ session. We sold to my 44.20 sell target exact and rallied. This back tested last week's breakout and must hold now. Messier conditions are likely today. Plan today, 44.41, 44.31 are supports. As long as we're above that, then we can see 44.50, 44.67, 73. If 44.31 fails, we retest 44.20, must hold. 44.20 must hold. Anybody got any plans for the weekend? Oh, don't forget, before I let you say your weekend plans, don't forget we have cash flow 101 is Tamari. Cash flow 101 at 11 o'clock. If you want to come play along, we do enjoy it. I enjoy it. A bunch. I enjoyed a lot. I didn't participate a lot before because on that second Saturday, I always seem to be busy, but I've freed myself up or had some free time. I don't know if I freed myself up or just had free time over the last several of them, and I've enjoyed it. 44.01 and 43.91. But yeah, that's tomorrow morning at 11. Jamie puts the link in the chat. You can come play along. If you have your account already, that's easy enough. If not, Jamie does walk you through the steps. But if you go to cashflow101.com, I think it is, you can get you an account. So when you come to the call, you're already ready to play. Already ready.
RichDad.com for the profile.
Sorry, thank you. RichDad.com. He gives instructions, knowing I'm not listening per se. And then he goes, were you listening? I wasn't. I wasn't listening. Subtract 40 is gonna be 33. So 20. No, what am I doing? We're taking away 40, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be 33. I'm like, I'm listening enough to make sure I can play. Here we go. 44.27. I think that's good math. Let me see. Take away 30, take away 40, take away 40. Okay. If 44.31 fails, which is what, 43.91 fails. The brain is a powerful computer. So them students yesterday, some of them didn't have calculators. I said, I've said it every day for 2 weeks, you needed to get a calculator. And if you have one, then great. If you don't, then you have to use the most powerful calculator on the planet, which is the brain. The best designed calculator in the world. Okay, yesterday was an A+ session. We sold to 43.80, which is sell target exact, and we rallied. Plan today, 44.01, 43.91 are supports. As long as we're above, then we can go to 44.10 and 44.27, 44.33. If 43.91 fails, then we retest 43.80. So if we're looking for outside numbers would be the bottom 43.80. And the top looks like it would be 44.33. Those seem to be our outside numbers. If you're looking for outside, I don't know if anybody still does outside numbers. That was a ways back. We were doing those. Been a few minutes since we were doing outside numbers. Playing with 6 players will be good. Jamie, why don't we do 6 players? Because it makes the game longer.
That is correct.
But if we
I mean, up until this point, we hadn't had 6 people to play.
Okay.
Because we didn't have 6 people that had their profiles, but it does make the game longer, yes.
Okay.
Which is fine with me.
If we have 6 people tomorrow, we can play with all 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. One observation I have with the cash flow game and playing with Jamie is it's a segue into our group really thinking about real estate and alternative sources of cash flow.
Absolutely.
Even though I don't have a lot of cash to buy a house, a second house, I keep looking and asking around, and I'm learning who the players are.
Yeah.
And they introduce their other friends.
And,
so eventually, I'm done.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. I've been still interested in looking at, and every state has tax deed sales. And when you're looking at tax deed sales, some states have a better, I'll say, setup than others. But like in Florida, if you buy a tax deed, there is no waiting period. The property becomes yours. With a deed, you end up getting the deed certificate like right away. As soon as you pay your money, you get the tax deed, and you can turn that over into a warranty deed right away. But some states have a waiting period where you have to wait a year or something. Once you buy them, you have to hold on to them for a period of time before you can turn them into real paper. But Florida is not one of those states. All the states have tax deed sales. It's just different states manage how you take ownership. They manage them differently. But the basic premise of tax deeds is that These are properties where the person has not paid their back taxes, has not paid their property taxes. And at some point in the process, it usually takes years. The property goes this because the county or whoever pulls up taxes want their money, and it's usually counties. They need the tax money to continue to do county work. They use the property taxes for that. That's how you finance a lot of the things, right? So if people haven't paid those property taxes, the county wants to get their money. So they offer them as tax deed sales, and people can buy the tax deeds. The county gets their money, and then you get a property you want to do whatever it is you want to do. If you want to keep it, you want to sell it, you want to do whatever. But the county just really wants to get the money that is owed to them. And you can and you can acquire properties this way for the price of the back taxes. It does take some research. It's not something you're just going to go in but the list, like they do tax deed sales down here in my county, Duval County. They do tax deed sales every month, and there is easily 100 or 150 properties there every month. Now, Duval's a very large county. Some of you also live in large counties, but you basically can acquire properties for the cost of the back taxes. It's an auction situation. So if the person owes $1,000, then the county will start the bidding at the $1,000. And if people auction it, it can go up as high as people take it up, basically. But it can also stay right around the $1,000. So there's properties people have bought for $1,000 or $1,500. Some of them have houses on them, some of them don't. You know, depends on what you're after as far as what your desire is to acquire. But I mean, there's so many ways to acquire property without just going through Zillow, or going through a real estate agent. There's other ways to acquire properties besides that. So that makes me, when we play the cash flow game, it does make me continue to think about that. It's just an alternative way to to get property and or generate cash flow, because you can buy it and sell it again. A lot of people take and flip them. Some people take them and keep them and do something else with them, but it's just acquiring properties.
So do they have like a delinquency map that you can look at?
A delinquency map? What do you mean?
Like a map for people who are delinquent and paying their taxes.
Not a map.
You
have a list. So when you go to the county site, you can look up, do a search on tax deed sale in whatever county, and it'll populate. It's a county, it should be a website. Most of them are done online now. They used to do them in person, but most of them are done online now. Since COVID, they put them online, and they have kept them online. Some counties still do them in person, where you got to go with your little thing and go, but most counties have them online. So you can buy properties from the comfort of your home, but most of them have a list of all the properties, and you just have to look versus, with the plat number or whatever they have as the number indicator of which property is which. You can look through and see what's the beginning price, where is it located. You can ride by, take a look at it, and stuff like that. Somebody else was asking a question.
Well, I was gonna say, I was just gonna highlight this whole process. Two parts. The first part, I was gonna say, whenever you hear, especially Black people saying, they didn't tell us, this is the they didn't tell part. And I say that because if you've ever been in a situation or heard of a situation where somebody in your family died, it's usually like a aunt, uncle, great aunt, grandma, somebody whose house was paid off, but nobody paid the property taxes on it. So somebody else ends up getting the house. Many times, and I do mean many times, this is how the family loses the house. Because somebody else is paying attention, and they're able, and to be honest with you, something like a foreclosure, for example, is public record. And so what happens is many times they'll just be aware of where to go to get that information. And so you'll end up with, if somebody's house going to foreclosure, I'm guaranteeing you they're going to get a whole bunch of letters in the mail from different sources trying to either buy their house or claiming to help them keep their house. One of the two.
Yeah.
But that's one of the ways that people, like you said, get those properties. So just keep that in mind. Like I know most people want to go through the bank and they want to, do the white picket fence joint. Okay, cool. But just keep in mind, there's so many other ways to get a property and use that property to get the white picket fence house. You know what I'm saying? But the other part of that is to say, and I hate to say it this way, but you really would probably be in a good position if when your family members start having a conversation with the family members about what to do with the property, if anything happens to them.
Yeah,
because I can tell you from experience that the government don't care about nothing but paperwork. And if the paperwork don't say what to do with the house, that means that you letting them decide what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I can tell you for a 100% fact that somebody that I know, house ended up going into foreclosure, and the person bought probably $55,000 property, let's say, for probably 18 grand. And all they're gonna do is fix it up. They already done it. They'll fix it up, and I don't know if he's gonna rent it out or resell it or what. But the point of the matter is, he got it for dirt cheap in an up and coming neighborhood.
Right.
So be on the lookout because those opportunities are there.
One of the drawbacks to the tax deed, I don't call it a drawback, it's just something people have to be aware of. When you do the tax deed auctions, when you win this auction, you need to have the cash to settle up. So it's not like you win one of these auctions and you go find you a mortgage. No. So if you win it today, you need to finalize this sale many times within 24 hours. So when you're doing these auctions, you need to have, a preset plan as to how much you can afford to pay for a property that you're going to work on. If you only got $3,000 or $5,000, then you need to find properties that are within your price range, or in a price range where you can get access to the cash in a short period of time. They don't take credit cards. At least my county does not take credit cards. They take cashier's check and hard cash. They take those. But the auction process is very straightforward. The most work you got to do really is the research part on the front side, because a property can be listed. Like there was one property I looked at, and it was had been the thing, but it basically was the strip of land right next to somebody's house. And it was, the strip of land was nothing, but it was a piece of property that was separate from the land that was sitting next to it. And then right next to that was the easement from the front of the street, like from the street. So it was literally a strip of property. And so if you don't have a plan for a little bitty strip of land, then you could buy it going, oh, I'm getting me one. And then you get there and realize you got, a 6 feet strip that goes 6 feet that goes all the way back to, nowhere's land. Or you've got a piece of property that's literally in the middle of a swamp or a wetland. So you have to do some research on the front side to make sure that there's not other liens on it, because some liens, most liens don't endure. When this switches over to tax deed sale, most liens don't endure, but some liens do. So if the property has like another county lien on it, those liens carry over because the county still want their money. So if you got bigger liens like that, you need to just do some research. But I mean, it's definitely a worthwhile thing. Again, the biggest piece of it is going to be the time you're going to put into the pre-search, the pre-search to make sure that you can, if you want to acquire them. I've thought about Saturday training on it, because it's something I think we can look at and see more of. If there's interest, we can talk it through a little more.
And sometimes you have like a sloped piece of land with lots of trees in it. Somebody bought one and put like a parking garage in it because they badly needed parking in the area.
Yep,
exactly.
And so,
So
you making money off.
Like in any situation, you want to, if you see a property you like, you want to have an end game. Like, what's your exit strategy? Whether that's I'm keeping it, I'm flipping it, I'm putting a business on it, or whatever it's going to do. I'm going to, farm some corn. You just need to have an exit plan or a plan for the property, and not just be buying stuff willy-nilly. Unless you got money like that, I ain't in nobody's pockets. I'm just saying you should have thought out what are you doing on the backside with the property, not just buy it to have another thing to pay property, because you got to pay property taxes on it once you get it, and keep that up, or it'll be back at the sale.
Once you have the address maps.google.com is your friend.
Oh yeah. Once you got the address, you're good to go.
Maps.google.com, because
Mhm.
not just because you can get the aerial view, but you can also get the street view. Because when you get some of those properties, that doesn't mean that somebody ain't living in it, so you don't get a tour.
What? But
beforehand.
you also need, even when you look at Google Maps, that you need to, even if you like it from Google Maps, you still should go ride by, because I've seen properties that look one way on Google Maps, and that Google Map picture was taken a year ago or 6 months ago or 2 years ago, and that's not what it looked like no more.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if, check out Google Maps as your first spot, at least. Because I looked at Apple's version of Maps, it is not as good as Google Maps.
Yeah.
I think Google Maps actually has a time. One time I checked, they had like a time feature where you could see what it looked like last year or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same.
Mm-hmm.
You can get some good information from there.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. All righty. Well, let's see.
Quick question.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi. I jumped off the topic at
with-
hand. Go ahead, Miss Sandra.
Well, we're gonna stay with that topic just for a second.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it.
The tax deed sale, if you're living in one state, can you purchase in another state?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The county don't care where their money come from. You can buy wherever you like. And because so many things are online, like I said, you can buy online. And what you do is, there's another thing, people call them boots on the ground or a bird dog. So let's say you're in, let's say you're in Florida like me, but I want to buy something in Georgia or Alabama or North Carolina. You would find somebody, you could do like some of those different groups to say, I'm looking for a bird dog or a boots on the ground in North Carolina, this area. And then there's people who are doing their little side hustle or main hustle is to go look at the properties for people, send pictures and give us an assessment of whatever you want to know. And then they let you know what they see, and you pay them, $30, $40, $50 just to go and take a look at the property to make sure you're not, if you can't go for yourself, you send somebody to put real eyes on it. But you can buy properties wherever. The Florida ones is a worthwhile thing, because when you buy it, it's yours. Right away. You don't have to wait. Some states, I think Georgia has like a 2-year waiting. Other states have a waiting period, but several states don't, and you can just buy it and get it right now. But yes, you can buy in any state. That was the long answer to your question, is the yes.
Thank you.
And I found that out. I didn't even know that was a thing that you can buy, but especially for like foreclosed homes. I just happened to be following a dude online that was doing real estate, and he mentioned my city as a place that was like a hotspot for out of town investors. I was like, what? So then we had to go back and start doing research. Like, we didn't know nothing about no hotspot, but it turned out that other investors from other countries are, they'll be more aware of what's going on in your area, just because you live there, so you're not aware.
Right.
But that stuff be public record, man. Trust me.
It's all public record. True.
Yeah, I had like a whole Chinese bus that was taking around Las Vegas to buy a property.
Yeah, I won't get on that topic today, but definitely.
But it's not just Chinese though. Like, they have Brazilians, they have Jamaicans.
No. I was talking about the topic of anybody can buy up our land. That's the topic I was gonna not get on. The fact that anybody can come and buy up our things as long as they've got the capital, when that's not the same way in other countries. But and again, maybe that's not relevant, but. But yeah, if you see like for me, I went to school in Tuskegee, and I've gone back to Tuskegee, and there's some of the land and stuff is just kind of, I'll call it dirt cheap, but it's not expensive anymore. And there's property that can be some of these, southern towns that don't have a big county base, or some of your hometowns, places that you would maybe look to retire and things. These may be ways to acquire pieces or plots of land when you get out of the city. Because for me, this is where I'm living in the city, and I'm on the outskirts of the city. I'm barely in the city, but I'm in a big city. but I'm fine with being on the edges. So you're looking for properties on, but now you'll see a lot of things on the edges. Some of the builders are trying to buy up that land because they can put neighborhood developments on them. So, you know, always take a check, do a look, see something you think you like. Start with the tax deed area first. See what's on the tax deed sales. You might find that there's some stuff, you know, and I try to watch them every month. And I put on my calendar that, you know, so-and-so, the tax deed sale is coming up. And I check just the 3 counties around me at this point. But I look and see, you know, what's coming up, do a little scroll through. Again, it's going to take time to just kind of do the research, but it may be, you know, fruitful. Maybe fruitful. Mm-hmm.
It would definitely help if you have an idea of where you want to buy.
Absolutely.
Especially if you start in your city. You know, I personally am looking for stuff in my immediate environment. I grew up in the district that I live in.
Mm-hmm.
I know this district. I probably can say like the back of my hand in terms of landscape, you know, not in terms of the real estate side. So that's the side that I'm learning. But I know, you know, I know what's going on in this district. So it makes more sense for me to look to buy in this district.
Right.
But that's not the same as if I'm going out of state, or outside the city to another county. I might not know the area as well. So, you know, it definitely helps to do the due diligence, but have an idea of like where you want it to go. Because unless you have a reason to buy something out in the middle of nowhere, you know, how you gonna get your coins from it? Like,
yeah. And you again, you want to be thinking about what is your end game. Do you want it to keep it? Do you want it to put something on it? Do you want it to just sell it? And if you're wanting it to sell it, you need to do a little more research and see what, you know, who would want to buy it. So you want to do that. But if you're buying it to keep it, then you buy it where you want to be. Yeah, this was a good discussion. I didn't bring up the VIX earlier, so I want to bring that up before we go. It's at 15.75. Alrighty. Keep in mind that it is Friday. Fridays are like wrestling matches. So you're gonna, you know, deal with that as it comes. You got that. This is Friday. Fridays are always fun. I didn't open up Thinkorswim. I'll have to go grab. There was a whole bunch of over 30s. There was a whole bunch of over 30s yesterday. So many so that I couldn't get one good picture. So I didn't send one. But if you got something that you're working and interested in, then definitely share it with the group, right? We've got Cashflow 101 tomorrow. We've got going live this afternoon at 2:00. I always appreciate you all support. Honestly, pass the word, pass on some videos. Somebody you see talking about what some particular topic of interest, shoot, send them, share a video of mine with them. Like, oh, I got a video for you over here. Just share a video of mine there if you want. And let's continue to do what we do. We got the VIX. I covered this. I think I've covered everything that we normally do. Let me look one more time at the ES to see what is that we go with that, not Google Finance, Forex, not Forex Factory. Where do we go for CNBC? Is that what we do in the morning? I wanted to see what the ES was looking like. Yeah, this is where we go. Okay. Pre-market to see if we got any better numbers on or looking like, well, our pre-market is still red. It's still kind of the same, well, bigger now. Dow futures is down 0.18, S&P futures down 0.15, NASDAQ futures down 0.04. So these are a little bigger than they were when we looked an hour ago, a little over 45 minutes ago. All right. Let's go to I keep wanting to move you. Let's go to our daily declaration. Again, I want to say I really appreciate you, Jamie, for making sure you hold us down. While I'm teaching, I got 4 more weeks of this, 4 more weeks of teaching the next generation of mathematicians. But Jamie's done a phenomenal job of keeping us on track. Teamwork makes the dream work. Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they say. Okay, our daily declaration. I declare I am a great trader. I declare I am a successful trader. I declare I am a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My account is growing more and more each week. I am a wise and knowledgeable trader. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I am a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions. I declare that money likes me. I declare I'm a blessing to others. I declare I'm a world changer. Our prayer, I only want one of you. Thank you. Lord, it is you who gives us the power to get wealth. Deuteronomy 8:18. You teach our hands to war with the purpose of establishing your kingdom. 2 Samuel 22:35. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically in order to fulfill this purpose. Give us more than enough so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I do want you to utilize the information when I'm putting up those percentages. I think that's beneficial to all of us. It helps us all to see that the strategies that we're using actually do work on a daily basis. All right. So you can help yourself, whether it's $15 or $20 or $50, all of that is profits, right? So if you continue, we know that the consistent base hits, they add up, they add up, they add up. You get a strategy, we rinse and repeat it. That's what we do every single day. So I want you to find confidence in that we are using a strategy that actually works, right? Sometimes we get all nervous about it and we have suffered losses, but our strategy works. As long as we follow the conventions, it'll do what we want it to do. All right. So today we're going to do two things. We're going to stay green.
Stay green and get this
money. All righty. I'll see you all in the chat. Everybody have a really good day. And we'll see you this afternoon at 2 or tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Cash Flow. All right. Talk later. Bye, everybody.
Gracias.
De nada. You're welcome. Bye-bye, everybody. Real quick, I just wanted to come on. This is Arlissa, Educator to Trader. Wanted to come on and tell you and ask you, I guess, to like and subscribe to the channel. If you like the content that I create and I'm, posting regularly, then go ahead and subscribe. That way you won't miss anything and you can be a part of all that we're doing here. I'm a coach to sellers. I'm an option sellers coach. If that's a vein that you don't know anything about or you want to know more about, then go ahead, subscribe and check us out all the time. All right. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.